Alright, hello, welcome back to the stream, everybody. Sorry for not having the stream yesterday. I had some work being done in the house, so that was not feasible, but I'm back at it today. And yeah, what has been going on? So Gunforged is basically, like I said previously, content complete, and I actually just spent yesterday evening getting all the builds uploaded to Steam. I'm gonna start just my personal friends. I'm gonna give them a copy of the full version of the game through Steam, just so I can get their feedback and how they feel about the game. I will be updating the demo very shortly. I may even do that this afternoon after the stream is over. But I'm going to do some more playtesting first, just to make sure everything's working as it should, you know. But the game is basically content complete, so I got the ball rolling on getting everything moving through Steam's system. I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's under NDA in the Steam sort of back end, but you do have to go through a slight approval process for your game to release, because Valve obviously doesn't want your game to just be outright broken. They want to do some basic QA testing on it before they approve it for sale on their store. So I got that process rolling yesterday, and hopefully there's not a lot of back and forth there. There really shouldn't be. And then once I get the green light, that means that I can release the game whenever I want. The target is still going to be the end of February. I was debating whether I should move that up because I'm really itching to get it released, but I don't think that would be wise. I think it'll be a good idea to sit on the game for a month or so, really lean into the marketing, do a bunch of play testing, add whatever final content I want to add. So I think the month of letting it just kind of like simmer, you know, is going to be good for the game. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the February 28th release date. And again, the game is going to be less than $10. So should be a good price, I think. And what else? Yeah, I mean, that's just basically the general update. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm actually running out of content to work on. So I think the streams are going to be a good opportunity. And I'm going to keep streaming during the month of February too. So I think the streams are going to be a good opportunity to just keep adding new content to the game. And then I can handle all of the sort of marketing and Steam stuff off stream. So today I want to mess around with some changes to the graveyard. I was trying to fall asleep last night and I had an idea for how to change the shape of the graveyard just a little bit, which I think might be more fun. So I'm going to see how that goes. And then I want to make an affix that causes all bullets to be connected together with like a laser or lightning or something. I think that would be really fun. So you could just have, like, if you have a lot of bullets spread, then you have lines connecting all the bullets and it just damages everything as it travels. I want to do something like a chain lightning affix. I think that would be really fun. And then just some other random things here. What else? I had some ideas for some passives over here that I'd like to try. I'm playing around with the idea of having a B gun and a B affix, but I'm not sure about those yet. So yeah, I'm going to start with this, this graveyard tweak. But before I get into it, I want to mention again, hold on a second. All right, so before I get into it, I want to mention again that if you want to support my work, all the ways in which you can do so are linked in the description below. You can purchase one of my Udemy courses that will teach you how to build a Godot game from scratch. So check those out. Also, wishlist Gunforged and purchase it at the end of February. That would be a great way to help me as well. And so yeah, just check the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can currently support me. All right. Hello, Luca. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hello, Momo. Good to see you as well. Welcome back, Emerson. I made that exact effect in the first game I ever made. It was really OP with piercing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was playing a game called Magic Craft. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but that's kind of got a Noita-style spell building system, and I'm borrowing that connecting bullets together idea from that, but I'm sure it's been done before many times, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, might as well add it. Okay, so for the graveyard here, I was thinking about, instead of making these sharp corners here, I actually wanted to make it look more circular. So if you imagine like a pixel circle around here, so basically just carving out these corners a little bit, I think that has the potential to make the game or this level at least feel a little bit more natural. So, and a little bit easier to navigate as well. So I want to see if I can get that working. So how am I going to do this? Oh boy, this is going to be difficult. Okay, so that, oops. Okay, this whole tile map is just a mess, but that's all right. So what do I do? 1, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. These ones are going to have to be different because these are foreground ones. Are they foreground ones? Wait a minute. Oh, these are the same exact. That's not right. Okay. Where are these ones then? Every time I go into this, I'm like baffled as to what's going on. There's so much. Okay. Where are these coming from? I'm literally... Okay, so this is the same exact problem here. So let's get rid of those. That should really only be that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. So I actually don't know how I'm going to do this. Let's see. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I have the eraser selected still. Okay. So I want to do basically that, and then I'm going to need a different piece, I think. So that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to need a different like corner piece here. But let's keep going and we'll just see how it works. So that, and that. All right. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. I guess before I go any further, let's see. Like I said, I'm just playing with this. I might end up removing. Oops. Might end up removing how this works, but let's see. Where is my shadow? Cool mug, thank you. Yeah, I like it. Where is my other shadow? Am I... Oh gosh. Where is this shadow coming from? Oh, here it is. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work, is it? Do I move the shadows underneath? No, the shadows are supposed to be... Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a mess. Maybe I won't do this. but I did want to see how it feels at least. So get rid of those. Get rid of these. Yeah, I would need new shadow pieces for that. But that's kind of what I wanted to do, you know, art, obviously notwithstanding here. So that just creates a more open center part here. Let's see, I'm just going to go into the level and see how that feels before I deal with any of these down there. All right, build the game, please. Thank you. Let me make sure, yeah, music is down. I don't know, how are we feeling? How do we feel about this? Should I keep the right angles that I had before, or do you like having these carved out a little bit here? And then I would do the same down here. So create like a narrower, or a little bit of a wider arena in the center. Yeah, I'll draw new corner tiles if this is looking and feeling good. But if it's not, then I will just not worry about it. I'm trying to decide if I want it. Oh, my tutorial's being shown. Click and drag gun part to equip to either gun. Boom. Okay. I want to see if this z-index issue is still a thing. Nope. Okay, good. Oh, I died. Also, new collider shape. No, there's no changes to the collider shapes here. Maybe a different shape, it's better. So wait, what do you mean? Do you like this shape here? So instead of having it just be pure square, make it like this. Kind of like the octagon arena feel. I like the rounded shape at the center. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do too. I like the way it just feels like there's a little bit more room here, but also it looks a little bit more visually interesting as well. You like it? Okay. All right. Well, this is going to be a pain in my rear to do, but I do like how that's shaping up. So before I get into the art, let me, I'll just make that change down here as well. So let's see. Yeah, so this one, okay. This one is going to be a lot more difficult, I think, to figure out. But let's just start with, this one. And then which side do I do? I mean, this art is going to change, but we'll do this. And then this. And then... And then there's going to need to be a different piece here as well. So I'm going to need to do all that, but let's get rid of that and that and that and that. Okay, so that's good. We'll need a piece for this as well. Actually, I can use this, right? Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So we've got that. The pit here. I don't know. These layers are all messed up. Okay, so then pits, foreground, this one here. Put that there. So yeah, that's going to need to be... I'll need to make a very special tile for this one right there. And then a tile for that. That would be the same tile as this one. And then I need a tile that's like an inner corner on this side. Do I not have that already? Wait a minute. Oh no, I already have that. Okay. So I don't need to do that one. Perfect. That should be the same case up here, actually. Oh, no, wait. No, I do need to make a unique tile for that. Okay. That'll be fine, and then I gotta change those shadows there as well. Okay. That'll be fine, and of course these decorations here are gonna need to go. How do I... Here we go, show the grid. Move those lovely mushrooms and whatnot up. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get the shape in place over here as well. Did I put this in the wrong? No. Gonna need a special tile for that as well. As well as right there. Okay. There's going to be a lot that I need to do here, but that's all right. That's all right. So foreground tile map layer. Put that there. Put that there. Does it go up like this? Yeah. Then it goes out like that. Then it goes up again. Okay. Okay. Do I have it the same on both sides? So it goes 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm just making sure that this is all equal. That's right. Yeah, that looks fine, right? Yeah, I think this is going to feel a lot better. Prob 2 more tiles for that. Yeah, I think I need to make 4 new tiles. Because there's I guess just a single, no, there's 2 new tiles I need to make for the one to the north here. And then there's 2 new tiles I need to make for the bottom because the perspectives are different. I just died. Oh, you know what I need to do as well? I need to make sure that I'm updating these navigation regions, which for some reason keep disappearing, but that's all right. So that enemies now can get into these corners a little bit. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer. It's more visually interesting. I think there'll be more room for the player as well. And then there's still like these back corners pieces where you can use them if you want to like dodge things, but then you get into like a really tight corner, so. Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure that all these Z indexes work properly. Okay, perfect. The Z indexes are a little bit weird. Oh my gosh, I should turn on debug mode so I'm not continually dying, but I'm too lazy for that. So the Z indexes are a little bit of a problem in some cases, but I think it's probably fine. So it looks good though. Yeah, I think that's just fine. And then this. Perfect. Cool. All right, well, I guess we'll have to go ahead and address that art then. I wonder if I should fill out this path a little bit now. Not a whole lot, but just like kind of make it match. Kind of make it match the shape a little bit, you know? There we go. I think that looks all right. Could even do something fancy like leave a hole in here somewhere. Yeah, that looks fine. Just flipping vertically doesn't work? No. I don't think so. I need like actually new art here. I can't use what I've already got. Actually, I may have a piece. I don't think so actually, but let's see. Pits. Do I have a, does this work here? Oh, that works there. Okay, so I was wrong. I don't need that piece. So those pieces are taken care of already. But I do need this piece. So I need a piece that like bends down. Because I don't currently have that. And then I need to update the shadows as well. Let's hide the decorations for a second. Oh, that's going to be difficult. I can't place a shadow there because it undoes that shadow there. Interesting. Okay. Okay, well, we'll worry about the shadows in a little bit. I'm going to take care of making these spikes. So I'll do the right side. So we need a spike that goes to the right and then down. And then there's a corner piece here. Just remove the shadow for now. Okay. So let's open up a sprite then, and we'll get this going. File, open, environment tiles, graveyard. Here we go. So if I switch to tile map mode and I select this one, oops. I guess I'm gonna have to bring the spikes down. There we go. And then the other piece is what? Right, and then oh wait, there's a I could have pressed Shift H. I gotta remember that. Okay, so basically what I need to do then is I need to... I'm just going to bring this up here. Like so. I think that will be all right. And then I can remove this for now. This, since this is a corner piece, I do think I need to do that. And then in here, I don't know if I need this to be... Probably should just leave it black, yeah. And these spikes here. I'm probably only going to want a couple of these. Yeah. Let me just see how this looks. Well, I can't move both of these at the same time. No. Okay, that's fine. Just shove it right here, I guess. Oh, it did move them both. Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess I'll just put those there. Okay. So let's export the tiles graveyard here. Should see that pop up here. Tile set. Do that. I need to look at the physics layers. If I'm not mistaken, I think I can just make it the full rectangle here. I always get confused with these physics layers and what they're doing. Physics layer 1. Secondary terrain. Okay, so secondary terrain doesn't affect bullets, it only affects entities. So basically what this collision shape is doing is it's saying allow bullets to pass through this, but not entities. And then the physics layer 0 stops both entities and bullets. And so this is essentially the bullet collision mask here. But in the case of this piece, I think it can be... Actually, it doesn't need to have a secondary terrain. I only need to use that when I have a differentiation between the shape of the physics layer 0 and physics layer 1, so I don't need that. So I can just leave that there. And then let's go ahead and grab this and plomp it right there. Oh, that's going to be a problem too, isn't it? Wait a minute. Did I do this wrong? Shoot. I did this wrong. I need this piece. Okay. That's fine. I can probably just go ahead and just zoop this on over. So if I take this... Okay, and then for these spikes here... Yeah, this is going to be a little bit awkward, but we'll see how this looks. This might end up looking kind of bad, actually, so what I'll do is I'll just move this down just a little bit so it fills that space a little bit nicer. And then in here, I'm going to get rid of this. Actually, I might need this, right? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, because I might use that for... Would I have to use that for this one? Let's see. Yeah, so maybe I should have kept that. Okay. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Can I grab both of these? Copy, and then undo. Gotta go back to what I had. Okay, there we go. And then, no, it's not gonna work. That's fine. Just repeat what I've done here. I need to get better at doing tile sets. There's still a little bit of a weak point for me, but that's all right. Okay. And then I'm going to move this over here to the same side, just so I know that those are like the same pieces. Okay. So we're going to export so we can keep that. But that's not the piece that I need. I need this piece here. Tile set, paint, physics layer 0. We'll just paint that on there. Okay. And then go to my tile map, grab this. Boom. Okay, so minus the shadow. Oops, I put that on the wrong thing. Got to make sure I'm doing it on the right one. There we go. That looks fine. There's a little bit of a gap there, and also I seem to have clobbered the shadow down here, so let me just fix this up a little bit. Oh wait, no, that needs to go on the spikes layer. Right, so spikes. Just make sure that this is all good. There we go. Okay, so that's looking good, and then I'm gonna horizontally flip this and then put that there and put that there. Okay, so now I just need to get the shadows in order, and then those ones will be all right. Let's see, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? So if I look at the shadow layer, so I've got kind of a weird situation where I need, this is one tile here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab it. So just cut that piece there. And I might as well just combine this into one tile. I could create a new, I probably should create a new tile map layer, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to create that, go to my tile set, setup, select that there, go to my tile map, select this, and did I do it wrong again? Okay, I need to move this over. One of these over. This needs to go over here. So now when I paste the shadow here, it will update all those shadows properly. Oh man. Do I need to create a new shadow layer here? I probably should. I probably should, but I'm not going to. This tile map is just going to be an absolute disgrace. So just getting those shadows in place here. Flip this one vertically. Oh, I need to flip it horizontally as well. Okay. All right, well that took way too long, but now the art is nice and coherent. Look at that. Beautiful. And I suppose just to verify that all the collisions and stuff are working before I go further, I'll just go ahead and make sure that this is all looking all right. I can go into the corners there, the bullets. It appears that the bullet... Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, the bullet secondary... The secondary terrain is not working, is it? So let me look at this. I want to get the secondary terrain in order here. This tile set editor is still so confusing. So physics layer 0, physics layer 1. Right, so physics layer 0. Where even is this one being used? I actually don't know. Is this one being used anywhere, or am I just using this one everywhere? Can I show... Let me show the collision shapes here. Rendering, physics, collision visibility mode for show. I don't even know what I'm using here. Oh, is it... It's showing both. Physics layer 0. It's layer 1. I'm gonna try something. Pixel size. Hello, Wither King. What about pixel size? Yeah, I don't know where this is coming from. It doesn't appear to be using my collision properly. So, am I just using the wrong things here? You see. I might just be using the wrong things. So if I paint those there, leave those ones alone and paint those there, and paint them here as well. Is that going to work? Hello, Aniki. Welcome back to the stream. Great to see you. This tile map stuff is taking longer than I expected. Why is that collision happening immediately? I don't understand. It's only looking for bullet terrain. Oh, okay. Standard bullet. It's only looking for terrain. But for some reason... Oh, unless the pit... Wait a minute. I guess it's because of this collision shape here. Why do I have that there? That might be the problem. Oh, you can full screen that? Interesting. Let me see if this works now. I just want the bullets to go a little bit up the wall before they die. There we go. So you see how the bullets are now ending right there? Yeah, I didn't need that collision on those pits there. I don't know why I had that. Nothing should be able to get outside the walls anyway. I'm actually doing very, very strong checks to make sure that, you know, things that originate from like the player. So for instance, I can't shoot bullets on the other side of the wall. I'm actually doing an initial check from like the player's center position to the end of the barrel. And if there's a collision there, then I'm handling that. Okay, I'm not seeing any issues here, so that's good. So yeah, it's just a little stylistic thing, but it makes the game look a little bit more natural. Like the bullets are hitting midway up the wall, you know, instead of just right at the bottom. Okay. Okay, so that's looking all right. I think that these are looking really nice. I might redo those torch art. Yeah. Let me write that down. I've also been redoing a bunch of the old art in the game. Like, I don't know if you remember the dungeon pillars, but I updated them. So they used to look really flat because they were flat. So I added some third dimension to them. And I also shrank them down because they were just too big and they were obscuring too much. So I've been just going through a lot of the old sprites and just giving them a refresh, a little bit of a refresh. I also updated the Rat King a little bit. I gave him a new face because everyone was making rude comments about his old face, so I fixed it. What else did I update? I updated the gargoyle. So the gargoyle also has a new face. You can't really see it that well. There we go. Gargoyle has a new face now. It looks more like a gargoyle. And then, what was the other thing that I updated? Oh yeah, the spider centaur. Oops, that's the wrong thing. I updated the spider centaur face as well, and also the gun. So he's got more of a spider head, a more obviously spider head now. I'm trying to think if I updated anything else in this level. I don't think so. But yeah, I've just been going through the old sprites and just giving them little touch-ups. In some cases, I've completely redone the sprite. In other cases, I've used what was there and just like fixed the parts that are egregiously bad. Because I can't spend time redoing every little bit of art in the game, but where I can get a lot of improvement is where I spend my effort. I do the same thing with a raycast, yeah. It's just a good idea. Keeps everything like nice and sensible for the player. Also, it fixes the issue where, you know, if you're right on top of an enemy, but your barrel is past the enemy, if you do just that initial ray cast, then it's like you'll just hit the enemy that's right on top of you. And if you don't do that, it feels really awkward as a player. Hello, Snupbill. Thank you so much for the 10,000 IDR. Very much appreciate that, as always. Very generous. And with the message yummers, of course. Thank you. I always love getting that, that yummers message. Okay, so before I break anything, I'm just going to go ahead and stage those changes. And now I can go in and update these ones. So let's see. So this... Wait a minute. Did I do this wrong again? Oh, maybe I can't use this one. Wait a minute. I guess I can just use this one here as well. Oops. What? Why is that on the foreground layer? I don't understand, but... Okay, I guess it's on the foreground layer, that's fine. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I didn't need this piece at all. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking then. This piece here. I do need a piece for that, but I think I already have that. Yeah, there we go. So I need a tile for this spot there, and a tile for this spot there. Okay. this should actually be relatively easy. I need to add a tile for that spot there as well, which should be the same as this one. Okay, so I can do that pretty easily, I think. So I'm actually going to delete this then, because it's not useful. It's not a piece that I'm actively using here, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then here, put that there. Background, put that there. Shadow, put that there. Okay. So, I need this to be, what is this? 8 pixels. So I basically just need to cut off 8 pixels here. Eight pixels of the shadow. Eight pixels of the tile. And 8 pixels of the background. What is the Yummers lore? I don't know. Snupbill will have to fill us in. Snupbill just appeared one day and just started sending in super chats with the message Yummers, so it's going to have to be a mystery. You're going to have to tune in every day to the stream to see if there's a new bit of Snummers, or, Yummers lore. What would you say is the best way? First of all, welcome, Tomatin Man. What would you say is the best way to create hitbox for enemies which can get a damage value from the projectile it was hit by? So I think the way that you should think about it is that the bullet, you can put a damage value on the bullet directly, but the problem, especially if you're making a more complicated game, is like, how do you modify that value, like with a bunch of different effects and whatnot? And so what I would do is, typically the bullet is a carrier for a data structure or a custom resource that is like all of the stats related to when you created that bullet. So I'll just use Gunforge as an example. So when you shoot a gun, right, it creates a bullet, and that bullet has to carry or have a reference to all the stats of the gun that shot it, right? And so if you have a bunch of affixes, like, you know, that apply like poison and whatnot, like all that stuff needs to be known by the bullet. And so rather than like individually like keeping track of all that on the bullet itself, I just have a data object that's like, here's the encapsulation of all the things, of all the gun stats basically. And the bullet has a reference to that piece of data. And so that way, when the bullet hits an enemy, the enemy doesn't need to, you know, the enemy just needs to read that data object, and then all of the context is there for how to take damage and how to apply the damage values and so on and so forth. So what I do is I have the enemy hurt box that detects when a bullet enters it, and then that hurt box can reference the data container for all those gun stats so that it can determine what the damage needs to be, if that makes sense. So on a very basic level, you can just attach the damage to the bullet, but I like to sort of have a different data object that contains all of the context relevant to the thing that's damaging the enemy, and then have the hurt box kind of handle all that stuff. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's go to my tile map here. Foreground tile map layer, boom, boom. Oh no. Oh shoot. Right. So I am gonna need to make a different tile for this, which is fine. We'll grab this here. Tiles, boom, boom. Oops, what did I just do? I have no clue what happened, but that's all right. We'll just go ahead and ignore it. Am I doing this correctly? No. Okay, that'll work. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. So now I just need a piece for this, which I should be able to do, yeah. Okay, almost there. So I need an 8 pixel tall. So basically the same as this. What I can do is I can just take 8 pixel of the background here. There we go. Eight pixels of the tile, and then also 8 pixels of the shadow. Okay. Did I do something wrong? I did do something wrong. Okay, much better. Tile set, boom. Oh, wait, I gotta go to setup, boom. Okay, tile map. Foreground tile map layer, boom, boom. Oh, I need to put an outline on that, don't I? Almost done, though. Almost done. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to, but that's all right. I actually don't know if I should fade out the outline. I guess I should. I guess that's fine. There we go. Look at that. All right. So now we've got a little bit nicer of a graveyard shape here after much trial and tribulation. Those navigation regions are not correct. Maybe that's why I was blocking. I guess that's why I was blocking. I mean, is it going to hurt anything? Oh, yeah. If I have navigation regions there, enemies could because enemies can spawn anywhere on the nav mesh. So that's probably why I was. That's probably why I had a collision shape on this. Okay. Goodness. Okay, let me think about this. Good morning, Christopher. Happy Friday to you as well. Welcome back, Metaphorical Code. Why don't you have 3D and Asset Lab tabs in the header? Is that a custom compiled engine? No, you can just turn that off in the settings. I think you can do editor, manage editor features here. And yeah, you can turn off the 3D editor and the asset library here. I also turned off all the 3D nodes so they're not cluttering up my node tree. Where are the 3D nodes? Yeah, here. Node 3D, I just unchecked that. Yeah, it's nice. It makes the editor a little bit more streamlined for my use case, which is always welcome. Oh, I turned off the decorations too. I should probably turn those back on. Bam. All right. So what was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to fix that. I need to fix the tile stuff. So I'm going to create a new tile there. Go to my paint. I'll just paint physics layer 0. Oh my gosh, this editor is so bad. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. We're just going to put that there. Okay. So now I'm kind of tempted to duplicate this and call this Pit's nav block, navigation block, just so that I'm aware of like what purpose this is serving. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete all those. Okay. So what I'm going to do in here with this Pit's navigation block is I'm just going to select this in here, and I'm just going to paint away from the edges so the bullets can still not be blocked, but I'll just leave like a 1 tile difference here. Probably not the most efficient way of handling this, but we're going to do what works because we're trying to get the game out. Okay, so now with everything re-enabled, if I bake this navigation region, we can see that that navigation block is now happening. So navigation regions aren't appearing in those areas. And if I test it, I should see that the bullets still work as expected. Okay, yeah, so you can see how the bullets are still going halfway up the wall when I shoot. This feels a lot less claustrophobic to me. That was one of the issues I had with the graveyard, was it was just a little bit too awkward to navigate in the center here. So now you've got plenty of room to navigate in the center, but it's still interesting in that, you know, you can run around the edges if you need to avoid attacks and whatnot. Now the question is the zombie tycoon gonna feel all right? Spawn zombie tycoon. I think he should be relatively unchanged. And actually, this might make the zombie tycoon a little bit more difficult because, oof. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. I might need to tone this down a little bit. Okay, that's feeling fine. Let's spawn the zombie, or spawn skeletal snake. Skeleton snake. Just make sure that the skeleton snake can move around properly. Yeah. If you're wondering why I'm not dying right now, it's because I'm invulnerable. Oh, the cannon goblins! I forgot about these guys. What up? How you doing, cannon goblins? This is nuts. Good thing I'm not taking damage because this is just... That snake turned out pretty good. The way that it's moving. Jeez. That's actually pretty cool. If I do say so myself. Okay, everything appears to be working as expected, so we're going to call that good. So update graveyard to have a bigger center area. That was quite a bit of effort. I was not expecting that to take that long, but we can call that good now. Good morning, Brekheck. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. All right, well, we're at just an hour into the stream here. So what do we want to work on next? Could knock this one out. That one's pretty easy. Maybe. I don't know if that's going to be easy or not, actually. But I also want to do an affix that connects all the bullets together with like a line or a laser. I also want to do this chain lightning one, which might be a little bit easier. I've got some interesting, well, I've got an interesting passive here. A deployable turret. Dashing places a turret that copies your weakest gun. The turret will shoot with you and toward your crosshair. That one, so that one's kind of similar to the phantom gun, but I think what I want to do with that one is make it actually copy your affixes as well. But let me think. Yeah, I gotta think. I don't want to add content just for the sake of content. Like I really want to add things that are unique in the sense of like they operate differently than everything else. But I mean, these two affixes would definitely add that. But maybe we'll try chain lightning. That one sounds interesting. I think that would be an easy addition. I'm pretty confident that would be fun too. So yeah, I'll do that one. So I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then when I come back, we'll knock this one out. This one shouldn't take more than a couple minutes here. And then I will work on a chain lightning affix, which is going to be really fun, I think. And yeah, we'll see how long it takes. That will probably take the remainder of the stream, but we'll see. So anyway, I'm going to go on a quick 2-minute break. In the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can support my work. Of course, wishlist Gunforge. Like I said, Gunforge is basically content complete. The stuff that I'm doing now is just extra icing before the game releases. I've got the game all going through the Steam process right now so that it can be approved for release when I'm ready to release it. And like I said, I'll be focusing on marketing and everything in the next month or so. I have to update the trailer because so many things have changed since the last trailer I made. I got a lot of stuff to do, but not work for the stream. All right, so I'll be right back in 2 minutes, and then we'll continue on with this chain lightning. Hello. The cat wanted to say hi. And by the cat wanted to say hi, I mean that I just grabbed him. What's up? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Okay. Do I have any content updates planned for Gunforged after release, or maybe if just Gunforged does really well, if there's demand? Yeah, I mean, I will... I have to, yeah, it's all going to depend on how well Gunforged does. If, like, people are loving the game and it's selling well and the most common point of feedback is, we want more, then I'm certainly open to doing more content updates and adding things like controller support and everything. But, you know, I'm burning through the money that I have saved, and I can't work on Gunforged forever. So if Gunforged is making good money and it's sustaining me pretty well, and if it does better than I even hope that it will do, then I can kind of take my time and like really make Gunforged into like a really, really full and like big game, I guess you could say. And I would not be opposed to that at all. But yeah, it all depends on how it does, because if it doesn't sell well, it's like I'm gonna have to cut my losses and like move on to the next thing before I run out of money, you know? So yeah. Hello Ariane, by the way, welcome back. That's me and my dog. She doesn't ever bark, so it's just staring in random places and me bothering her. Yeah. What goes on in their little animal heads? Okay, so make zap passive apply shock stacks. So let me see. I think this should be relatively easy, but let's see. Zap passive, circle explosion, set, add status to apply. Oh, you know what? Why can't I do set gun stats? Set gun stats to transfer. Yeah, so I think this is all in place. I just need to do set, oh, you know what? Circle explosion, zap. Oh, it's doing it in here. I might change this. Actually, I don't think I can. This is a circle explosion builder. I can't pass that through a signal. So the problem is I need to be able to modify the builder configuration prior to it being built, the circle explosion, so that I can set it to transfer the proper gun stats, as well as the status effect that I wanted to apply. I have this pre-start callback, which passes the instance, so this pre-start callback gets invoked here. But I actually don't think that that's a good idea. So what I might do instead is, let's see. So where am I setting that? Oh, dot explosion created. So it's happening in the zap here. Pre-start callback. Yeah, the big problem here is I can't send a reference to the builder itself, which is probably fine. So what I might be able to do is set guns dot hitbox component dot set gun stats to transfer. I guess I could just do that. Yeah, and then add statuses to apply. Maybe I'll just do that, because I have no control over the builder here. So set gun stats to transfer var weakest gun stats is equal to this. Set gun stats to transfer weakest gun stats, and that's necessary because that's going to determine what damage the status is going to do. So I'm setting the gun stats to transfer and the status to apply. And let's see. Statuses to apply, get statuses to apply. Gun stats to transfer, yeah. So this is where it's applying those gun stats. So and that's being duplicated, okay. Awesome, so everything should work. So now if I go into my hub here, so if I add passive zap, yeah, that seems to be working just fine. How much does zap? I forgot how much zap does. Zap status, or no, shock status, I mean. This does damage, it does 5% per stack. So that's fine. So that's just a nice way of getting, I wanted a way for the player to get shock stacks for the purpose of synergizing with some of the passives. But if you don't have a way of applying shock stacks, then you can get it through the zap passive. So now what I can do as well is update this description. Zaps the nearest enemy with lightning and applies shock. Deals 25 DPS of your weakest gun. Yeah, there you go. So just save that. And let me just make sure that that text works well in game here. Boom, boom, boom. And apply shock, deals 25% DPS. All right, there we go. So add shock status to zap passive. Done. Easy money, as they say. Okay, so let's do this chain lightning now. So this is going to be an interesting one. So this is an affix, and I have no clue how I'm going to accomplish this. Probably what I'm going to need to do is look at the zap here. I've got this line and secondary line here. This zap, I wonder if I could just... I probably could just repurpose this zap, honestly, for the chain lightning and just make it not... I'm gonna have to change how it works. Yeah. I may have to change how it works, but we'll figure all that out in a second here. We'll figure all that out in just a second. So the first thing that I need to do is make an affix here. So create new resource, affix, resource, chain lightning, save, display name. What do we want to call it? Do we want to call it something boring like chain lightning, or do we want to give it something like, you know, something interesting? We'll call it chain lightning for now, but if there's a better name, let me know. Is available in demo. Do I want to make it available in demo? I don't think so. I mean, we'll see. Loot weight 10, that's fine. Do we want to give it... I'll probably want to give it an unlock condition, but that's all right. Okay, so chain lightning. So now we got to create an affix for it. So if I do my fire affix, let's create a new file, chain lightning affix.cs. I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. Chain lightning affix. Get description adds blah, 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 fire stacks, yeah. So I'm going to change that description on entity collision. Yeah, we're going to need to listen to this. We'll keep that check in there. Why not? So let me think. Entity collision event. I wonder if I should add in the hurt box reference here. Where is this actually being created? New entity collision event. If I'm getting a reference to the hurt box component, I might as well pass that along so I don't need to look that up again. Yeah, that'll work. So now I can pass that in. So actually, wherever I'm listening for this entity collision event now, if I'm looking up any hurt boxes, I can reference that. I don't know if I want to change that now, but actually, it doesn't look like I'm really looking for the hurt box anywhere. Okay. That's fine. So entity collision event, chain lightning. So now I have a reference to the hurt box here. So now the tricky part is where I need to actually establish the chain lightning effect. Now this is actually going to be really tricky. And the reason why it's going to be really tricky is because, well, I guess it won't be really tricky. Let me think. Yeah, I'm going to need to probably keep a hash set of all of the collided enemies. So let's do this. Var enemies hit set. Or let's just do enemies hit equals new hash set. Actually, we'll do hurt boxes. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll say hurt boxes hit equals hash set hurt box component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say hurt boxes hit. We don't want to include this entity, but I think that's fine. So we're going to say var what would be better? Would it be better to on hit take all of the entities that are on the level and sort them by distance? Or would it be better to, for each chain, just find the closest? Oh wait, I can't sort them by distance. I have to do the other way. Because as the chain goes through the entities, I'm going to need to find the closest entity to the entity that was hit. So what I'm going to have to do here is, let's do this. So I'm going to create just a generic method down here. Private void chain to nearest entity. And then I'm going to do this. Hash set hurt box component exclusion set. And then let's do this. Let's do no, hurt box component from hurt box component. I'm just trying to stub this out so I can get an idea here. So let's do this. So for int I, for var I don't want to use no typings. For var I equals 0, I is less than handler arguments dot affix occurrences, I plus plus. We're going to want to do something like chain to nearest entity here, but var from hurt box component is equal to this. Maybe we'll return hurt box component of the chained entity. So from hurt box component is equal to entity collision event dot entity hurt box. So we're going to chain to nearest entity from hurtbox component, and we're going to add the, let's do this, exclusion set. Put the exclusion set there. And then we're going to say from hurtbox component is equal to that. And then we'll do if from hurtbox component is equal to null. Then we're just going to go ahead and break out of that loop. And then obviously I'm going to have to figure out how to do the damage here. I don't exactly know how I'm going to approach the damage yet, but you know, when you're doing a new thing, the best thing to do is just to take one step at a time. Tackle one thing you know you need to do first, and then just keep doing that until it's finished. Conduction. Oh, that's a good one. Conduction's a good one. I was thinking something of like Nikola Tesla or something like Nikola's Vengeance or something. I don't know. Something weird like that. Hello, Polaris. Welcome back. Great to see you. So chain to nearest entity. So what I'm going to do here is, I might be doing this wrong actually. Game utils. Get closest entity to position. Searcher node. Okay. Let's do this. So from entity, from hurtbox component. So from hurtbox component, so we'll have to change that, but chain to nearest entity, from hurtbox component exclusion set. Okay. So now what I'm going to need to do is say var closest, well, let's do this. Closest entity, closest hurtbox is equal to game utils dot, I need to do this, var get closest entity to position from entity faction dot enemy vector to target position from entity dot global position, or let's do from hurtbox component dot global position. Okay, and I might as well return that tuple. But I do want to do this. Exclusion set dot add closest entity. What happens if I try to add a null closest hurtbox? Okay, and I want to do this. Get closest entity to position. OTD. Invoke. It's being invoked with the hurtbox here. Why am I not typing that correctly? Hurtbox component. Is that going to break something? Anyway, I'll add hurtbox. This is my filter function, and I'm going to return not exclusion set dot contains hurtbox. So every time we call this get closest entity to position, it's going to add this extra condition when it's doing the search, which is if the hurtbox that I'm looking at is contained within the exclusion set, then we're not going to include it. And so we're going to say if closest entity is equal to null or closest hurtbox is equal to null. So if these are equal to null, then I'm just going to return null. Otherwise, exclusion set add closest hurt box. And I might rename this actually to hit set and then just iterate over that to create the damage in the chain, the lightning chains. I don't know. Hello, Solo Leveling, welcome back. Maybe word fusion, not sure what is the discussion, just joined now. I'm making chain lightning, that's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to come up with a name for it, but also trying to just get it to work. So let me think. Maybe I'll do this. Node 2D, hurt box component, return closest entity, closest hurt box. So essentially what this is going to do now is this, I'm going to rename this to hit set. So for every instance of chain lightning, it's going to chain to the nearest entity from the original entity that was hit. But then the from entity, if I'm iterating multiple times, the from entity is going to change then into the entity that was found that was closest. And then it's going to do that search again. But it's going to ignore anything for future searches that are contained within the hit set, which is being passed by reference here. So once this loop is done, I should have a set of all of the entities that were hit, and that set will be unique. And now what I can do is I can draw a line between those things and deal damage. Let's get the damage portion out of the way first before I do the visual portion. Trying to think of how I need to handle that visual portion. Probably shouldn't think about that right now. Let's just handle the damage. So let's do for each var. What do I want to do? For each var hit hurt box component in hit set. For each var hurt box component in a hit set. Cannot damage this. What? I don't have a direct damage? Hit by bullet, hit by hitbox. Ooh, is this gonna be a problem? Well, it's not hit by a bullet, so that's not a problem. I guess what I really want is the health component. The reason I'm adding the hurt box component to the hit set is that's going to serve as the origin point to connect to the chain lightning to, because the hurt box is the way that I'm building them into the game, is that they're always like kind of center of mass, and so I can use the hurt box component's position as like where, you know, various effects can come from. And so if I want the lightning to chain very nicely, I want it to go toward the hurt box component global position. But because I don't have the health component here, I'm wondering if I should either, I could either do this. I could do hurtboxcomponent.owner.get first node of type health component, like so. Or what I can do, and that requires an iteration, but the problem is the hurtbox component already contains a reference to the health component here. So what I might do is I might just forward a reference to that health component. So I might just do public health component, health component, health component. There we go. So the reason I'm not changing this to be public with a private setter is because when I change the casing, it's going to break the export value. So I can just forward it here and I don't need to go through the editor and update everything. So now I can do hurtbox component.health component.damage. And now I can place my damage in here. I have to decide what the damage is going to be. Do I have the gun stats here? Let's see. Entity collision event dot bullet component. How am I doing it on the fire affix? Oh, it has the gun stats on it. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's do some damage here. So var damage is equal to, what do I want to do? Maybe I'll just make it a flat 10%. So 0.1 F times. Damage per bullet. So 10% of the bullet damage. And the idea is that if you have multiple chain lightning stacks, it will increase the number of jumps that happen. So it'll remain a flat 10% damage, but if it jumps 4 times, then you're basically spreading out 40% damage. And I might even increase that, maybe 20%. We'll have to play with it, but so that's my damage there, and I can just call damage right there. And that should be fine. Yeah, that should be all right. And then, of course, I'll need to create the visuals as well in here. So var hvar. Oh, I need to keep track of the actual chain, right? The list of entities to chain from and to. Okay. Let's do that. Var chain pairs is equal to new list. I'll just use a tuple. I'm liking tuples, man. Tuples were one of my favorite things about Python back in the day. So let's see. We're going to do hurtbox component. So chain pairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say old from hurtbox is equal to from hurtbox component. And then I'll do chain pairs dot add old from hurtbox and then the new from hurtbox. Well, this is going to have to be I think it will be safe to add this after the check there, because I'm never going to get into this from hurtbox and from entity if either of these things are null. So these are always guaranteed to be fine. So that first iteration is always going to succeed. It's this, and then I can just return out of it if that chain fails. So if there are no other entities and there's nothing to chain to, then it's going to go ahead and go through there. I may also want to add a range on this because otherwise the chain lightning is going to go across the map. So I'm going to have to add a range restriction on here as well. Actually, that would be down here. To do add range restriction. Okay, a lot of things to consider here, but I got the chain pairs now. So that means that I can just take the tuple and I can say, okay, well, here's my 2 things that I need to connect. Okay, but all of that aside, like, I think if I've done this correctly, that should work, but I'm not sure. So let's not worry about the visuals just yet. I'm going to go to my shotgun here, and I'm going to go ahead and just add new or quick load chain lightning, and we'll go ahead and see what this looks like. Okay, chain lightning adds one. Oh, I didn't update the description. Okay, so if I hit this, this training dummy, then with the shotgun, it should damage that one as well. Okay, and that did 1 damage. Oh yeah, that's about 20%, yeah. Now the problem is that if I hit it with 3 bullets at a time, it's going to do 3 chain lightnings. That might be a little bit much, but that's working. If I hit this one over here, it should hit that one as well. Perfect. And if I add another chain lightning, then I should hit the other 2 training dummies regardless of which one I shoot. So if I do here, oh, that didn't work. Should have hit that one. It's got 2 affix occurrences. Am I not adding, I may not be adding the, oh, I'm not adding the initial. I'm not adding the initial entity to the ignore set or the hit set. Okay, that should fix the problem. I think what was happening is it was chaining back. So now it should hit both of them. There we go. So since I've got 2 of those affixes, it's chaining to the 2 training dummies beyond the one that I've hit. And now if I add a 3rd one, what I should see is nothing. That should just be handled gracefully without throwing an error or anything. What's the process for making that lightning visual? Is it just 2 line 2D? Yeah, I think what I've done here is I'm basically iterating over all the points every frame, which might be bad, but I'm just modifying the points along the line every frame to kind of give it a electric feel. It might be more efficient to do that with a shader though, but it hasn't caused me any performance problems yet, so. Okay, we've got no debugger errors that are relevant anyway. So that appears to be working just fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and commit that before I start working on the visuals. I don't want to commit this though. I'm just making sure that everything is good to go. Cool. Okay, so grab those, grab that, boom. Initial work on chain lightning. So I think what's going to be easier here is instead of trying to make the zap, instead of trying to make this work for both the zap passive, I mean, this is also used for the shock status if I'm not mistaken. So instead of trying to make that work for the chain lightning, I think what I'm going to do is copy this and just try to make it, just modify it for my purposes. So let's change this to, or let's duplicate this rather. duplicate chain lightning zap. I'll just call it chain lightning zap so that it's very clear that it's different than the chain lightning affix. Chain lightning zap. This doesn't need a resource preloader anymore. This one might not need a resource preloader either, actually. Yeah, that doesn't need the resource preloader anymore, so we're going to go ahead and delete this. Boom, boom. Okay, so I've copied this noise interpolator component. I may as well make this unique here so that it's not affecting it. So now I've got this line 2D and secondary line 2D and the audio stream player. Okay, so in here, I want to copy this, break that, go back into the scripts here, create, paste it, chain lightning zap. And we're gonna keep all of these relatively the same, but I don't need the explosion created. Anything related to on zap finished here, these circle explosions, that doesn't need to happen. Start probably doesn't need to happen. I can probably change this to public override void. Well, maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I'll do this. Vector2 start position, Vector2 end position. I don't need this. Yeah, I don't need this. I don't need this either. Shoot. Node 2D. Let's do start entity, vector2 end entity. Or start, yeah, let's just do start node, end node. Because it's not necessarily an entity, it could be a hurt box as well. So private node 2D, start node, private node 2D, end node. What is this export value? What is the point of having that amplitude there? Yoink. Okay, so this dot start node is equal to start node. This dot end node is equal to end node. Okay, so in setup line here, we're gonna have to change the rotation. Yeah, we're gonna have to change all this, so this doesn't matter. We'll call setup line, I guess. Node 2D end node. Okay, so now in the setup line, what I'll do is I'll say var length is equal to start node. Well, let's do this. Private float length. If is instance valid. Start node is instance valid. End node. We're going to say length is equal to start node dot distance to dot global position dot distance to end node. Cool. So we're just going to set that. Oh, end node dot global position. Cool. this amplitude can go down here. So now we're going to need to change the angle as well. So rotation is equal to start node dot global position dot angle to end node dot global position. So we'll change the rotation there as well. So this will be updating as long as both of the entities are valid. And if one of the entities becomes invalid because they're killed or whatever, it will just maintain the length and the rotation that it had. The idea is that this is not going to be a very long-lived thing. It just needs to be visible enough for the player to see it. And then it can just disappear. So on zap finished. So I think what I'll actually do here is this dot scale new vector 2. So something like this actually would be perfectly fine. What I can do is I can say this dot scale new vector 2 dot from vector 2.0. We'll let it wait a tenth of a second and then we'll call queue_free on it. And during that 0.2 seconds that it's alive, it will keep updating the lines here. What's up, Adaton? Welcome back. All right. Oh, man. What am I doing? I think that's fine. So that's my visual. So what I'll do is, the unfortunate thing is I need to do this. I need to copy this path. I don't like doing this, but since my chain lightning affix, or all of my affixes rather, since they're all just pure classes, they don't have access to the scene tree. So I have to basically just do this private static read only packed scene chain lightning scene gd.load packed scene, and then paste the scene in there. Okay, so now that I've got this, so I'm iterating over all those hit sets and dealing damage, but then I need to do another iteration, which is for each var pair. For each var pair, var start node, var end node in chain pairs. I need to do entity collision event. Well, let's do this. Var foreground is equal to entity collision event dot tree dot root dot get base level dot root dot get base level dot foreground. Otherwise, we'll just use the root. Root dot get first child get child 0. Just trying to make it as null safe as possible. Realistically, this will never be null, but just in case. I could also, I mean, instead of doing that, I suppose what I could do is just say if foreground equals null, return true. Maybe I'll just do that instead of getting fancy with it. Var chain lightning is equal to, I need to change the global position of this as well. Global position is equal to start node dot global position. There we go. Chain lightning is equal to chain lightning scene dot instantiate or null chain lightning zap. Foreground dot add child. Chain lightning dot start node end node. Okay, and then let's see in here. I've got, that's creating a tween. Yeah, it's gonna last. Okay, perfect. So I hope that that works. So it's iterating over all the hurt boxes, it's dealing the damage, and then it's iterating over all the pairs and creating that I could probably knock it down so there's not 2 iterations happening, but I mean, realistically, if you've got 4 chain lightning affixes on your gun, it's only gonna do that 4 times. So it's only gonna do like 8 iterations. So it's not something to be worried about at all. This chain lightning is a classic example of something that could get out of hand very quickly in terms of performance, just because like every time you jump to a new entity, you then need to scan for the closest entity again. And the good news is that, I mean, there's not really ever more than like 15 entities in the room at once. And so even if I did it in the most naive way possible and I like sorted, if I did an order where I sorted all of the entities every time a jump happened, it still wouldn't be enough of a drain to make a noticeable performance impact. So, but chain lightning can get out of hand. I know that for sure. Okay, so let's see if this works. I am feeling pretty confident that it's going to work, but I'm sure I've missed something. I see little flickers happening, but I've done something wrong, like I said. Start node global position distance to end node global position. Okay. Oh, this vector, oh, this scale is wrong. Vector 2.1. I wanted to make it grow, but it was only scaling in the X direction. Okay. Why do those lines look so thick? Also, I should do another scale here. Tween.tween property. This scale vector 2. This is where I want to do the new vector 2 1 0.1. Might have to make that faster as well, but let's see. Length, start node, rotation, start node global position, dot angle to end node global position, start node, okay. Segment offset length divided by segments. Bar point is equal to vector 2 dot left times length plus vector 2 dot right. I don't think that's right. Vector 2 dot left, that must be, let's see. I want the point to start at 0. Yeah, I don't think that was right. Okay. That was just a holdover from how the zap is working. Oh, I know why. Because the zap, its target ends up being this origin point. So I just kind of shift the visuals over so that the end of it ends up at the origin point. But with this, I don't want that to happen. So let's see if this works. As far as I can tell, the angles are correct. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, okay, it's almost working. Why is... Okay, something's wrong here. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. I'm doing several... Is it a proper length? The length is correct. The rotation, for some reason... So it's always putting the points along the right. So if I got rid of this rotation here, I should see just a bunch of chain lightning zaps pointing to the right whenever I hit something. But they should have a length that corresponds to how long they need to be. Yeah, so you can see how... So I've got a short one, which is supposed to go to that guy, and then the long one, which is supposed to go to this guy. So why is the rotation not working? That's the question. Maybe it would be better. Maybe angle 2 is wrong. Yeah, I think this is probably just wrong. Let's do direction 2 and node.global position.angle. I think maybe I was just doing that wrong. Yeah, I probably was doing that wrong actually. Angle 2 between two positions doesn't make any sense. Bam. Now, why is that one too short? That's the question. Why is that? That is not correct. It's probably related to these segment offsets now. No, that ends up being a float. Segments. So that's the segment per I is less than segments minus 1. That's not right. That's not right. Almost there. I think that will fix it. I think they'll be properly connecting now. Oh, nope, I was wrong. It needs like one more segment there. So what's happening is the line is being divided into segments. And then there's a point being added on the line 2D for each of those segments. And then those points are being oscillated up and down in accordance with this noise interpolator component to give it a lightning effect. What is the secondary point here? Secondary points. Oh, I see. Oh, this -1 was correct. So this just brings the points together at the ends. So if I is greater than 0 and I is less than the last index, then they can interpolate freely, but then they need to be brought back to the same point. This secondary point is wrong. Point plus equals offset. Vector 2 dot right times segment offset times still doesn't tell me why it's not long enough. Interesting. That's not right either. Okay. What am I missing here? I'm missing just like one extra iteration, which makes me tempted to just do this. Less than or equal to points.length, but then my segments doesn't mean anything. So I guess the problem is that there's 8 segments, but 9 points, right? Because there's a start and an end point. if you had 1 point per segment, you'd only have 8 points. But if I have a final point and a begin point, then there's an extra point in there. So there's 9 points. So really what I'm doing is I'm iterating over the number of points, but I'm conflating that with the number of segments. So I think this is actually correct. Segment offset. Yeah, I think that's actually correct. All right, let's see if that works. I'm feeling pretty good about this one, actually. Oh, I guess I shouldn't have been feeling good about that. I'll just do a quick and dirty fix, I suppose. What in the heck? We will get it eventually. There we go. I'm going to change the... Maybe I should change the thickness of these lines. They're already width 2, width 4. Might bump this down. Oh, wait, that's the secondary line. This one should be 2. They're a little bit thick looking. Also, I'm gonna bump these down to 0.05 to make it really aggressive. Not bad. Let's see what it looks like in game. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I obviously have to add a distance restriction on there, but that's feeling pretty good, actually. I kind of like it having a big range. I mean, I will limit the range so it's not like going off screen, but I think I'll give it like a pretty large range. Okay, so that's like the final thing that I need to add then. So private const float range. Let's do, let me think, 196. How many tiles is that? Or 192? 6 tiles, is that enough? Let's do 10 tiles, so that would be 320. So then in here, in this little, if not hit set contains hurtbox and hurtbox component, or hurtbox dot global position dot distance squared 2 from hurtbox component dot global position is less than or equal to range times range. Okay, let's see what that does. So that's just going to prevent it from going way off screen, but it's still going to be a pretty generous range here. Yes. Gosh, if you get like a super fast firing bullet. Why use distance squared over just distance? It's an old habit. I mean, the thing is, square root operations take quite a few CPU cycles. And so, you know, I guess you could say it's kind of like a good habit to get into just doing a squared. Because if you think about it, if you're comparing the distance between something, if you compare the square value to the squared value, it's the same as doing the square root value against the square root value, right? So if you just have both sides squared, it's the same. It ends up being the same check in terms of being logically the same, but it doesn't require the CPU to do a square root operation, which means that it saves some CPU cycles. Now, I could just use distance and it would be fine because computers are ridiculously fast, but it does have a noticeable toll when you're dealing lots of iterations. But like I said, it's just a habit that I have. I probably don't need to do that because it's just the kind of game that I'm making is just not going to noticeably slow down the game from doing, you know, several dozen distance square root operations, you know? Yeah, it's costly in terms, like relative terms, but like I said, like with how fast computers are, like you can write software and games so naively and like most of the time it's fine. You know? I mean, we're talking about like, I forgot what the exact numbers, but it's like, it takes like an extra 100 cycles or whatever to do a square root operation. Well, when you're talking about, you know, the computer doing billions of cycles per second, it's like nothing. It only becomes noticeable when you're doing like lots of operations. Beefy ×2, yes. I'm still not really happy with the spread values here. I'm gonna have to play with that a little bit more. Okay, so the final thing that I need to do, well, I need to do a couple of things. I need to draw an icon for it, and I need to do the description. Probably not going to get to the icon today because my stream time is just about up. But what I do want to do is update the description here. So, lightning chains to occurrences, additional occurrences equals 1, question mark, enemy, otherwise, enemies, dealing, what is it, 20%? Maybe I'll get rid of the word additional. Do I want to use the damage value or the DPS value? DPS is the only value that's surfaced to... Oops. Let me think. I think DPS is the only value I surface, so I wonder if I should just use the DPS value instead of the bullet damage. Where am I referencing the gun stats here? Here, damage per bullet. I think that's fine. I'm using this in quite a few places, I think. Yeah. I'm going to change this to bullet damage here. So there's a distinction between DPS and bullet damage. Unfortunately, I'm not surfacing the bullet damage number anywhere, so I might have to do that. But no need to worry about that just yet. Let me see if this looks all right in game. Lightning chains to one enemy, dealing 20% bullet damage to each enemy it hits. And if I do this, lightning chains to 3 enemies, dealing 20% bullet damage to each enemy it hits. And so if I got bullet pierce on this too, every time the bullet pierced an enemy, it would trigger the chain lightning. So check this out. Shotgun, barrel, add element, bullet pierce. So if I add bullet pierce to it, that chain lightning is going to carry through, so you can have like a whole screen full of chain lightning. See that? See how the bullets are passing through, and then I might be able to set it up easier here. Yeah, so it carries through with all the bullets. So you can create some really nasty combinations with this. If you took, yeah, I think that's going to be great. Just going to have chain lightnings going everywhere. And the last thing that I want to check is just go to my remote here and make sure that this foreground doesn't have any children, because that's where the lightning is being spawned. So I know that the lightning is being cleaned up correctly. See all those disappearing here. Cool. So we're going to add that effect, boom, commit. I get rid of this, the shotgun barrel changes that I made, because all I did was add a bunch of those affixes for testing purposes. We'll get rid of that. Sweet. Sync that. Cool. All right, so I still need to do an icon, so I'm going to write that down. Excellent. Okay, so that's going to be it for the stream, though. I'm not going to do the icon right now. I got to go get me some lunch. But yeah, that was fun. So yeah, like I said, Gunforge is basically content complete. I'll still be trying to find ways to work on content during the stream, because that's probably the most interesting thing to do. But yeah, it's content complete. So I just going to be working on polishing everything up, doing a bunch of playtesting, adding whatever new icing content I can think of to the game. And it'll be out soon. So yeah, check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can support me. You can pick up one of my Udemy courses to learn how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. And you can also wishlist this game Gunforged on Steam. I will probably be updating the demo for the game later this afternoon. So if you want to be notified of that, you can follow the Steam page, or you can sign up for my email newsletter at firebelly.com. I will send an email notifying everyone that the demo has been updated. So yeah, that's the plan. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your support. Very much appreciate it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I may be streaming once or twice over the weekend. Again, I don't really have a weekend schedule, so just hit the notification bells to be notified when I'm going live. Otherwise, I will see you Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, the usual time. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.